another thing that happened. Many of the sensitives, I've seen them talking online, became more sensitive. Now, did I need to be any more sensitive? Did I consciously want to be any more sensitive? Did I want to drive around on the highway and feel everybody's crappy emotions driving? Do I really need to know that much information? That was the beginning of COVID for me. Driving and feeling everything. And I was like, this is going to make me sick. I'm trying to drive here. I don't need to know that this one's furious and ready to run any of us off the road. And this one's late, and you better get out of the way because that one's late and we're not sharing the road. That person owns the road, right? There's all these stupid scenarios happen on the road. Just ridiculous. And I'm talking to my soul, I'm like, really? Can't we become sensitive with what matters and let this other stuff go? No, when you open, anything can happen. Which is why people don't want to open. That's your free will. They don't want to feel all this crap. And so that, that's how it is. What are you going to do? These are the stages of personal evolution for me. Okay, so where are we?
They're packing up and you're loading it.
Oh, thank you. So they're packing up. So I hear spirit almost yell, no, they can't leave. And it was very emphatic, like, they can't leave. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? You can't tell him anything. I can't say, listen, spirit just said, it's not for the highest good. He's not going to listen. He doesn't care. 30, do you know this second Saturn return? I'm in this 32 years. My parents have gotten every benefit they could get exposure to and still can't perceive it. My mother kind of gets it, and he pretends. He just bullshits me. What are you going to do? So they're packing, I get the message, and within, I don't know, an hour, something happens to my sciatic nerve. I bend down. Now this is 2 weeks I'm in bed already. We're all in bed, walking around zombies, right? Can't think straight. And I just bend down, and I feel this. Now I've had this before, but not since 2013. So it's old. Yeah. It's old energy. I did this first when I was 5. I threw my back out when I was 5. So I have been under chiropractic care to keep me really good, because I told Heather, I don't have body pains. I'm going to be 59. Nothing hurts. And that's because of some basic self-care and the constant emotional release, which another piece that people don't want to hear. You can't pretend to be happy. You can't just smile all the time when you feel like stabbing somebody. And this is why Italians live long, because they scream all the time. They don't hold it in. They give you an FU if they want to, And so a lot of people that are fake positive forget that there's processes going on and things have to come out. Now, you don't have to attack somebody else to let them out. You can find what works for you. You can journal. You can scream. You can beat the mattress. I've done all these personally. I took a hammer and beat the ground with a temper tantrum. I didn't yell at anybody. Why should they take the brunt of my crap? That's not right. People get married just to have somebody to do that to. Remember that, if you're single. People get married to have that punching bag. That's their intention. Oh, you're here? Oh, I don't feel good today. Boom, boom, boom. Because, again, the human race does not want to be responsible for their own thing. And now that brings us to what's in the world now. Through COVID, even prior to COVID, we have seen more people expressing and expressing and expressing Garbage. And where does this garbage come from? All from the past. There is nothing new coming out of the people causing chaos and violence. It's all old. But because they're so ignorant and stupid and shut down, they can't get to the new. Just like my father couldn't receive the new in the real estate thing. They can't have it because we're going to hold on to what we think is true. And that is, we should have your land, we should steal your oil, we should make billions of dollars off your country, or hurt these people through experimentation, medical experimentation. We don't care. We're making billions of dollars. And to prove this point, my friend John died. This is the last COVID person to die in September last year. These were RVer friends, motorhome, not motorhome, they had a fifth wheel trailer, but I know them through, and I'm gonna get to this one. Don't let me forget Norman. I gotta tell you about Norman. This is another piece of the umbrella of COVID transition. Anyway, both couples were at my house in 2021. 2020. November 2020. So everybody leaves, they go to Quartzsite, they spend, a lot of RVers come here for the winter and they just go to Quartzsite, they find a spot and stay there because it's cheap. And they like the weather. So John and Pat, the wife, they wind up in South Dakota for the summer. So they left me in November, stayed till April, May. She does, I don't know if this fits old versus new, but I have to tell you the story. So they go out towards Wickenburg, and she wants to do the memorial hike for the fire department that all died in that big fire. So it sounds lovely, right? It sounds like a nice, this is gonna be nice, me and my husband out hiking, and smiles, this is gonna be great, we're gonna have an adventure. She falls. And she breaks all kinds of shit. Her ankle, her arm, her wrist, she can't get up. They have to helicopter her out.
Oh my goodness.
She was on the news, not that you would see her face, but they showed her going up, the helicopter. And she's a Leo, maybe she just wanted the attention, So now John has to care for her and pick her up to the toilet and cook and food shop, and this is going on from the moment that happened all through the summer in South Dakota. This is a different role. He's never had to do everything. They have a pretty balanced marriage, right? So obviously he got worn out, and by September of 2021, he had COVID. And she got it too, but she got it mild, because she's been sitting around being pampered and taking all her nutritional supplements. She's been loving herself, and he's been sacrificing for her, right? Soul contract. Just remember that when you see suffering. Soul contract, soul agreement. Because that's what everybody says now, right? Everybody uses that as a drop phrase for everything, but they forget you have free will. You could do something else. Sometimes. I could not get out of the energy of my parents. What was I going to do? I would have had to go stay with friends to get out of there. I couldn't even stay in the motorhome. I was out there too. That energy infiltrated the whole property. I couldn't get away from it. Why do you think they're 3,000 miles away? Because their frequency leaks. Remember this when you're dealing with humans from now on. Are they leaking? Are they leaking what you want them to leak? If they're not, run for the hills. Get out. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm being too demonstrative. I should just speak the words and have no energy behind them. Oh, remember the fist, remember? So, okay. So where was I?
Norman.
Oh, thank you. Okay. So, another layer of COVID was endings. I started this out with the mass exodus of many souls, right? But that's simple. We know people are dying. It's a fact, you know. The numbers might be played with, okay, but people definitely died. And people definitely got sick. And there definitely is something there. You know, whether you receive that or not, or you believe it doesn't matter. There is a reality happening, right? Because the truth was, when I got it, I just thought I had the flu. But it wasn't just the flu, it was a weird flu. It was a unique flu. It was a COVID flu. There was something different about this. Because I've had lots of flus. I've been sick a lot. I was born sickly. You know, I've had a lot of illness in this life. But I always get over it, because my soul has all the strength from all those lifetimes of being a healer and working with Jesus and being at the pyramids and using crystals. I don't even use crystals this lifetime. But my soul knows all about crystals. So, anyway, November 2020, Norman has an episode at my house and has a temper tantrum. 16 years I'm friends with him and the wife. That was the end of the friendship.
Wow.
One moment, done. They left. They didn't leave in a huff. They didn't leave, unless they were being fake positive. They stayed a few more days, and then everybody left. Both couples left. I never spoke to them again.
Wow.
And when I did call the wife, she picked up his phone. He was probably there, didn't want to talk to me. And she said, nothing happened that day. Now, am I delusional? John was there. Norman started screaming. John walked away. He's not going to take that frequency. He's got enough anger in him, in himself. He didn't want to deal with Norman. So he just wandered off. But he saw what was happening. And now he's dead. I don't even have a live witness. And she just said, no, nothing happened. What do you do with that?
Interesting.
Denial, blame, whatever. And so this 16 friend, now I don't want you to think this is bad. I don't want you to hear it. I'm not complaining. I'm stating demonstratively that this was part of the COVID umbrella. There would be many endings.
Mm-hmm.
Friendships, relationships are going to end. It's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
This is not speculation. We're already in this 2 years. Do me a favor. How many of you have not had any endings through COVID? Raise your hand. No endings at all.
Wow.
Oh, poor Dave. Well, Dave's an alien, so that's okay. Dave has such strong alien DNA, nothing affects him.
Not that I didn't want to leave.
I know.
Wow, everybody.
Dave, we love you so much, you don't know. Dave was one of the angels. He gave me the ivermectin for my parents, and we never got it in the lungs, just all kind of up here, cough, more mental issues, a lot of mucus though, and Walmart products did that. Just took some mucus stuff, and that just never let it go into the lungs. So that friendship is over. So I lost 2 family members. That friendship, I was down to 1 gay couple. Haven't spoken or seen them at all. So, and I have no male friends now, and no gay friends. Only people on the internet. It's very weird.
Spring cleaning.
Oh yeah.
You have all that.
Well, yeah, now I do. That gets me to, I put out 3 emails through COVID, and nobody responded. And a lot of you are on my email list. And I thought that was weird. The minimum we could do is answer an email. So I'm thinking of deleting my email list. Because if nobody's receiving anything from it, I don't need to do it. That's where I'm at with this COVID experience. I don't want to put anything into anything that doesn't come full circle for my benefit. Because it's not a win-win. Why should I keep giving energy out that doesn't go anywhere? It's a dead end. Nobody even shared their story. Nobody, I talked to you, I talked to Penny, I talked to a couple of you through this thing, but not most of you. Just an observation, just something that I'm contemplating. Okay, old, let's play with some of these again. Old, energy, debate, argue, complain. Stay in it because there is a love of being in this energy. This is the old, right? The new, observe, discern, walk away. No need to prove I'm right. Proving I'm right is an ego thing. If you notice, no one was right through COVID. No one was right about the mask, about the vaccine, about the recovery rate. None of it was right. None of the information was accurate. I didn't find anything helpful. And then I heard so many stories of people going to the hospital without treatment. There are treatments. Oh, but it's not approved. We don't know if it works. Because nobody's making money on it. And people don't want to hear that either. They don't want to hear that a lot of this thing is big business. Oh, no. They wouldn't do that. Come on. And I don't take sides. I'm not one to take sides. But there are some facts that are true. And there are people that made billions of dollars through this, off the backs of other souls. And we can say, well, was their soul agreement? What's their soul agreement? They all decided to die. Okay. Still not a pretty sight. And it brings me back to, and you'll hear this a lot on the internet, crimes against humanity. I said this at another group, I think it might be the last time I spoke to you guys. There are parallels in timelines. I can get to some of that. Maybe I'll talk about some of that. But I'm going to keep this part simple. The Jesus timeline and the Holocaust timeline and this timeline all have some common energies. And the one common thing, to keep it simple, is people doing crimes against humanity. That is not speculation. I'm getting a shiver on it. It's a fact. So if we keep our head in the sand and just pretend it's all going to work out, we know this is all going to work out, and those of us that survive this long, hopefully I will see you all again at some point, before we get to the other side. But there are some truths that we really should not just ignore. We should know, because as a collective, once you make a decision, the more people that make a decision, the power gets to move, because your energy making that decision starts to make the energy flow in a direction, just like people doing harm. There's groups of people doing harm. They've made an intention. They have energy going in a direction. Well, you can do the same thing, but you have to decide. You have to decide. I said this in videos. You really should go to my YouTube page. There's a lot of good channeling. There's a lot of information there. And they're really, sometimes I laugh, sometimes I cry, because I'm too demonstrative.
Just under your name, your YouTube page.
The Medium by Design.
Thank you.
So, okay. Where was
Did you finish, Norman?
it? Yeah, so Norman's gone.
Sciatica
Still
nerve.
living. Huh?
Your sciatica nerve, the parents stayed because
Oh,
of it?
okay, we can finish, we can get a little further. I keep just bringing peace.
Yeah, the Galactic.
Oh, yeah, we gotta do that, thank you, that's right.
Yeah.
So, I'm bringing that story in and out because I'm tired of rehashing it, because I'm trying to let go of this whole nightmare. But there were a lot of things that came to light. I probably will not see them again before they die. There's nothing here in Arizona for them, because he slammed the door, which is better for me, because now my sister has to deal with all the things that come up from now on.
Perfect.
And she's gonna be calling me screaming, you need to get back here, and I'm gonna say, I'm not stopping my life for them. That's gonna be my answer. I've already rehearsed this. So, yeah, because it's inevitable. They're gonna go through stuff, and they're there, and their help is there, and I don't have any familiarity with that state anymore. I don't know how to do anything there. So, so yeah, the sciatic thing. So I left off with spirit saying, no, they can't leave. I bent down, and I fell on my knees. I was screaming. That's how bad the pain was. And I've had it before, that bad, but I never thought I'd have it again. I thought I was done with that kind of experience, right? So I'm on the ground screaming. My father sees, "Ooh, something's going on with him, you know, and because he's not as demonstrative when it has nothing to do with him, and I'll tell you why in a minute on that. So I have to go in the house. I don't know what to do. I'm like, I just got out of bed. I was feeling good for about an hour. And then I was back to, I gotta go to bed. I can't stand up. So Becky, I had just met Becky just a couple of weeks before, not even a couple of weeks before the COVID incident, and she gave me a new chiropractor and massage therapist right around the corner from my house.
Oh, wow.
So that was, I didn't think I'd need it that soon, and I didn't jot it down, and then I had to text her, who's that guy? So I go there, I want to make sure my sacrums, I want to make sure my vertebrae are where they need to be, because having COVID and sleeping vertically, I slept vertically so it wouldn't go in lungs, and being in a fetal position vertically definitely had my sacrum and my glute muscles all contorted. I knew this because I had a pain before I did this. And if I was really aware, learn this, take this from me, if I was really paying attention to my body, I would have gone to the chiropractor right away. She said it, I probably needed it when she said it, I didn't receive it, I packed it away in the file, well, I'll get there someday. But really, I should have done it right at the end of COVID, because I probably wouldn't have had that, except when Spirit, remember what Spirit said, no, they can't leave. Well, they needed a reason not to leave. So why shouldn't I sacrifice my body for them? Why shouldn't I fall to the ground in terrible pain and be stuck in bed for another 2.5 weeks?
Oh
Why
my
shouldn't
God.
I?
What a good child.
Just because Jesus said let go of sacrifice doesn't mean I have to. I'll sacrifice for them one more time. I mean, this is how pathetic we are. You know? And I know, I said this to Andrea, you can't tell me I wasn't clear. I agreed with Jesus, I was not going to do this again, and then no sooner do I agree with myself, we're done with the old energy, their old energy comes in, and I go back to old energy. So the soul has a totally different agenda. And some people would say, well, it's in your subconscious, it's not totally clear yet. All right, whatever excuse you want to give about that experience, it was out of my control. Somebody had an agenda that was not in my conscious mind, and there was nothing I was going to do about it. No matter how much I declared, I'm done with this, I don't have to do anything with that, I'm not going to do old energy. No, it didn't work. I could not be any clearer. You know how much clearing I've done in 30 years? Do you know how much body work this thing has had? Come on. It's 32 years I started doing readings, 32 years ago. Okay. Oh, here's a fun one. Old. Errands. We all have errands. Errands done with focus, determination, narrow experience in the outer world. The new. I create connections and experiences everywhere I go. And she knows this.
You know.
I am living the touched by an angel lifestyle. And I'm saying this for me, because this is my truth. My truth is, here's some other fun things that happened through COVID. As most of you agreed, we became YouTube junkies and video junkies, right? In this COVID thing. And the one thing that I always look at is cars. I love cars. I used to have a classic car. I had it for 28 years. In 2007, I had a major front-end collision, and the car was history. So at that time, now listen to what my mind did. We all do this. When the car got totaled, I believed that the classic car guy died with the car. That was my reality, right? Because I don't have any money to buy classic, I don't have any extra money, and same old spirit guy story. There's no money to do anything, because I sacrifice, I don't need money, I can just live on air, Another old thing that still is alive and well in me, So during this thing, I came up with a new prayer. I don't know if it was before COVID, I think it started before, but it got intensified. I do these walking communications at the house. And I do this figure 8 around my kitchen and dining room, around the table, around the island, and I'm speaking to spirit, and I'm speaking my vision out loud. This is what I would like to see. And I do this with all things in my body. I don't just write the affirmations, I speak them. I'm not receiving messages though. I'm not, if they want to give me a message, they have to wait till I sit down and do it. I may get little glimpses of things, but that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to project what my heart desires. And we can all relate to that, right? It's not difficult. And so I did that, and one day I said, I want a classic car. I'm tired of fantasizing about cars and looking on the internet and, oh, someday, maybe I'll have one someday. I changed it. I said, where's the car I can have now? Where is it? That was my declaration. Well, I got guided to this wonderful guy, young guy in California, a big economics guy, millionaire on the stock exchange, millionaire in real estate, and a millionaire real estate salesperson. He's a multi-millionaire. He was 27 when I found him, right? So he's talking about COVID and all the government packages and the CARES Act, all the acts that came out, and he was reading them and showing them on the screen. This is what the government will be doing. Once this passes, this is what we're going to have availability. One availability was through the Small Business Association, SBA. There was a $10,000 grant and or a loan. One day I popped them on, he's with his wife, they're going through the application. You have to apply for the loan, but if you don't get the loan, you're guaranteed the grant. Well, I can't get the loan because I just can't prove anything, right? So, because you have to have all these, you have to answer a lot of questions, right? So anyway, I get this beautiful letter from the SBA. We're so sorry, we can't give you a loan. You just don't need it. You just haven't proved that you need it. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. But they were so sorry. But in the next paragraph, but we're so happy. Talk about schizophrenia. We're so sorry, and we're so sad, and then we're so happy because we're going to give you $9,000. And 3 days later, that $9,000 was in my account.
Wow.
So Spirit told me that they did that because not everybody got 9,000. It was the SBA, even though the CARES Act said all small businesses get 10,000. The SBA chairperson said, no, we're going to give them 1,000 per employee, up to 10. She broke the law. She got fired. Another COVID, no, not death, casualty. She got fired because she went against the government mandate, right? But unfortunately, a lot of people did get only 1,000, and there's nothing they can do. They did do lawsuits for this, but I don't think anything's going to happen. Now I got the money for a car. So anyway, I don't want to waste a lot of time on this, but I just want you to see how even through the COVID letting go of everything and friendships and death and this and all this stuff that we had to deal with, there was some light trying to come through, and I was guided. I said to you, I asked for the car that's right for me now, and that's exactly what I got. A non-running car of a company I knew nothing about. I'd never worked on any of these cars. And I fell in love with it when I saw it, and then I got scared. My old energy came up. Remember, this is all about old versus new. So I asked for what I wanted. Here it is. Oh no. like hot potato. And so I waited 5 weeks and I prayed for somebody else to buy it. This is my new trick with the universe. The thing comes to me, the blessing's there, and then I turn it away and I say, let somebody else take it, let somebody. So 5 weeks later I call the owner, I'm like, why do you still have that car? This is how this 81-year-old doesn't miss a beat. He says, because you're supposed to buy it, make me an offer. And that's what I did. So I got this non-runner, and my close friends know that I listened to Spirit. John had died. John was a car guy. He's been around. I got the car to run after 15 months of puttering and learning about it and fixing things. So the car runs.
What kind is it, Salvatore?
It's a 1966 Plymouth Belvedere.
Oh.
And it's a pretty color. It's an aqua color. It's not a show car. It's not going to be a show car, but I'm going to do all the mechanicals and I'm going to drive it around town and have fun with it. That's what I bought it for 2 reasons. I needed some sanity through COVID. I wanted something to put my mind into. You know, I like watching other guys do cars, but now I got my own. I can stare at my own and have all my energy on this and ask Spirit, which I did. I asked Spirit, what was the next step? What's the next step? And I got the answer. I was guided to fix the car. And to show you how true this is, remember that November Norman temper tantrum? Well, the reason that he got angry is because he wanted to control getting that car started. November 2020. So I haven't had the car all that long, right? So I bought the car in September. This was November. It wasn't ready to start. So he doesn't want to hear that. We're going to get this car started. And it's all that male energy. We're going to do this. And Spirit's like, you're not going to do nothing. This car is not getting started. So I told him, you need to chill out. And he had a temper tantrum because he wanted what he wanted. It wasn't a win-win.
No.
That's not a win-win. He's projecting what he wants onto me and this car. And the car's like, I can't stop. There's still something wrong with me. So once we cleared his old energy out, the car was jacked up. I laid under it. I said, what do I need to do? You need to drop the oil pan. And boy, did that open up a can of worms. Good and bad. Like it had to come down. And if I didn't do that, I could have screwed up the engine. And it would have been Norman's fault because I was not listening. You see how this intuition and you've got other energies around you projecting and pushing onto you. And if you don't say no to it, they'll take over. Because that's what energy does when it's strong. It just takes over. And this is why I live alone. This is my other joke I have. Every time I see couples interacting with energy I don't like, I tell them, now you know why I live alone. I tell them right to their face. Because they're doing things that I would never want to be part of, right? Okay, so let's get to this message for you. This was this morning at 6:11 a.m. The Galactic Federation Council. This is not all lovey-dovey. I'm warning you. We know you have anticipated this day for a while. With the many fluctuations in energy and the personal clearings, recalibrations, and separations that needed to take place in Salvatore's life, we needed to take one thing at a time. So they know everything that's going on. What most of you may not understand is that there are many soul commitments that are not on your conscious mind. I just finished that. Things that are happening at times are not part of your conscious desires, nor part of your conscious thinking